And so the other part of that is because every reply counts as +1 and every like counts as +1. I basically like all the replies and I reply to all the replies. So I see like all of these stupid replies. The amount of people who think Mac Jones' card is going to go down because the Patriots lost to the Bills. Oh, he was terrible against the Bills. You better sell that card now. He's terrible. I guess he should have played better defense against Josh Allen then.
He's a legend.
People are wild, man. And then you call them on it, right? And they're like, I'm like, you're wrong. They're like, oh, you're saying I'm right. It's my opinion. I was like, yeah, you're welcome to your wrong opinion. I own a 1 of 1 Butterbell. Yes, it's blue. Mac is going to be a good QB. Mac's talent at quarterback is directly dependent around the talent that they get on the outside this summer and the next couple of summers. You know, more than anything else, it is about the talent that surrounds him. Also, people are judging him based on his rookie season, and that's it. Rich Rebar had a comment this morning on Twitter that basically summed up what I'm saying about Mac Jones. 10.9% of Ryan Tannehill's dropbacks this season came with all three of Derrick Henry, Arthur Juan, and Julio all on the field. He averaged 9.4 yards per attempt on those 11% of his plays. 24.6% of his dropbacks, without all three of them, 5.2 YPA, as opposed to 9.4 with all three. 31% of them were without both AJ and Julio, 5.5 yards per attempt on those, and 30% with both AJ and Julio, 8.2. Talent matters. Talent freaking matters. You know? That's all it comes down to. Talent absolutely matters. So when you're outside receivers, and look, no disrespect to Kendrick Bourne, no disrespect to Aguilar or Jacoby Myers, but none of they're all professional receivers, but none of them are lead the line receivers. None of them are elevators. None of them are going to do anything of the three, are going to do anything that makes their quarterback better. But they are professional NFL level receivers. They're just not lead the line receivers. They're fine as a 2 or a 3, right? If Kendrick Bourne's your 2, you know, or Jacoby Myers is your 2, like that's fine. None of them are an alpha. Not one. So if they're able to maybe sign an alpha and then draft another, if they spend some draft equity in round 1 on picking up one of the stud wide receivers in this class, and I don't know any of their names yet. I'm being completely honest. I don't. I have not started researching that yet. I'm sure some of you know who they are and are waiting to hammer their names into your keyboard right now. See, here we come. If they were to get one of those guys and sign somebody, because there's a lot of free agents out there. Is there an LSU wide receiver in this draft? I'll just draft him. But remember the years it was like, just draft the wide receiver from Clemson and you'd be all right. Now it's Alabama, obviously, because they always have the best players. And LSU. Because Orgeron recruits the hell out of talented wide receivers. Or did while he was there. You know? So if they get one or two of those guys and have keep two of the others, Myers or Bourne or whatever, as the 3-4. Now that's a really deep receiving core. In addition to the, Hunter Henry and that's a talented receiving core with Henry and the other tight end, whose name I'm blanking on right now, from Tennessee. Because see his face, can't say his name. Yeah, Jonnu. Thank you. So, that would make him a different story. And quarterbacks do tend to take a leap in year 3, not necessarily in year 2. They don't always take a leap in year 2. They do tend to take a leap in year 3. I'm sure somebody is going to chime in and say, well, Burrow did much better this year. Burrow's 25. Burrow was an old rookie. Herbert didn't take a leap this year. That's what's going to blow your mind. Herbert was just Herbert again this year. He didn't take a massive leap. I'm cold to the point where I'm almost shivering. I don't know why. Turn the heat on down here. Just too big. Let me sign in so I don't have to see ads on Football Reference. I'm streaming. I'm signing into a site, and I'm turning on the heat in my basement so that I'm not cold. So Herbert, if we look at this, right, the adjusted passing, these are stats that show you. Turn the heat up. 100 is league average. Okay, 100 is average. Higher is better. Herbert didn't take a leap. Herbert was just Herbert. He improved, right? Higher adjusted net yards per attempt by, this is versus the league. Higher net yards per attempt, higher yards per attempt. He got sacked a little bit less. His rating was a little bit lower. He threw more interceptions, right? He was league average in interception percentage, threw a few more touchdowns versus the league. Completion percentage was closer to league average. This is pretty consistent from one year to the next. Herbert was in 2020 the same talent of quarterback that Herbert was in 2021. This is what I mean by a leap. Josh Allen, and we had gone over this last offseason in the Allen versus Kyler video. Adjusted passing here. Josh Allen, his first 2 years, pretty below average. Second year, pretty below average, but consistent from one year to the next. His interceptions improved in year 2. His touchdown percentage improved in year 2. Year 3, this is a leap. That's a leap. And then, as we projected, this is typical regression. This was one of the best years of all time. His 2020 season. Chargers have decent cap room. Chargers have $70 million in cap room. Woo, the Chargers have a lot of money. I have to put together that series. So I want to do it's going to be rebuild, but rebuild's the wrong words. It's just the wrong word. Optimizing the Chargers, rebuilding the Chargers, whatever. I haven't decided on the name. It's going to depend on, everything else. Chargers went from Breeze to Rivers to Herbert. Seamless. Yeah. They've luck boxed quarterbacks after quarterback after quarterback. They've had really consistent and great quarterback play for 20-something years. Don't forget Stabby Lung. That lasted a week. This is a leap. So, like, if we get a season from Herbert where, like, he goes, the Chargers need to figure their defense out. Their O-line improved. Their O-line definitely improved. They spent money on, or draft equity on Slater. He was great. He's a monster. But if Herbert takes this type of a jump in year 3, because year 3 is where these quarterbacks tend to jump. If he's 20% above average across the board, good God. You know? And as I said, you see that this is his age 22 and 23 season. Joe Burrow is older than Lamar Jackson. Adjusted passing. Pretty like average, below average his first year. Massive leap in his second year. But also, he's 25. So some of this comes down to maturity. Some of this comes down to some other stuff. But like, you know, some quarterbacks take a leap in year 2. Most take a leap in year 3. Bengals have $60 million in cap space too. I know. Like, these teams that have, guess what? Teams that have good young quarterbacks actually tend to do well. Energizing the Chargers. I mean, I want it to be, I think it's going to be roster rebuild, and then I'll just say what it is. You know, like recharging, you know, roster rebuild, recharging the Chargers. Roster rebuild, building the Bengals. Fixing the franchise. Yeah, like something like that. Something that people, I need something that people search for. So it's going to come down to search terms. Headlock Pin got me this stuff. Well, he got me top stacks. I need him to get me the other one. How's it going, G-Girl? So I'm going to go through each of these teams, but like I want to get a smart person on here. Once I get a smart person on my show, like I got to get Reeves to come on the show. I got to get JJ. I got to get, you know, the Josh Norris. I got to get on if he wants to come on. Field Yates. I don't want to ask Field. Yeah, Field's the homie. He's the man, but like he's also like super duper busy, and like I don't want to ask him. If he look, I'd love to have him. If Field wants to be on a freaking YouTube video with me, I also don't know if he's allowed to, because you know ESPN front-facing talent might not be allowed to do a show like that outside of ESPN.
He's a legend.